안녕하세요. 안정현입니다. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Speak Korean again. Let's say hello to Scott and Christine. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 크리스틴입니다.
안녕하세요. Scott입니다.
We talked about Korean tea last time, and Christine, you told us that you hadn't tried any. Any changes since then?
Yes, I did went to a traditional tea house, and I used the expressions we've learned, and I thoroughly enjoyed a nice cup of green tea.
Big success. What did you think about the tea?
Actually, it was really soothing and calming. It didn't really taste like anything special, but actually I really liked the brewing process too.
Do you want to tell us how you ordered the tea?
Okay, sure. Scott, can you be my waiter?
Depends on how you tip.
Okay, well, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say 녹차 있습니까?
네, 있습니다.
Then I would say 그럼 녹차 주십시오.
Very
Excellent.
nicely done.
Thank
I think
you.
Christine's done really well for herself, huh? What about you, Scott?
Well, I also had some Korean tea, but not at an ordinary tea house. We'll see in just a second.
Really? I think we'll all have to see this one. Why don't we take a look? Now, let me give you a hint as to what to look out for. We're going to talk about particles today. So take a look, and we'll be back.
Hello, everyone. We're coming at you today from inside Arirang, a traditional Korean restaurant famous for both its food and its tea. Now, I was supposed to meet a friend here, but it looks like they're running a little late, so I'm gonna have to try some of that famous tea without them.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Thank you.
손님 뭐 드릴까요?
유자차가 있습니까?
유자차가 있습니까?
네, 유자차가 있습니다.
네, 유자차가 있습니다.
숙차도 있습니까?
쑥차도 있습니까?
아니요, 쑥차는 없습니다.
아니요, 쑥차는 없습니다.
녹차는 있습니까?
녹차는 있습니까?
네, 녹차는 있습니다.
네, 녹차는 있습니다.
그럼 녹차 주십시오.
그럼 녹차 주십시오.
네.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do? Well, if you're in Korea and find yourself having to wait for someone, then you can do as the Koreans do and spend that time relaxing with some great tasting tea.
Aha, Scott ordered some tea while he was waiting for a friend. Looks like he practiced what we learned last time. Now let's talk about what we're going to learn this time. Do you remember where you heard the sound, Christine?
I do. I think I heard it on 녹차는 있습니까? And 네, 녹차는 있습니다. I think I also know the particle that we're learning today.
Extra.
Yes, it's 는, isn't it?
It is. It sure
Okay.
is. Nun is what we call a contrast particle. It is used when you contrast two or more things. Now let me give you an example. Now Scott first asked about 유자차 and 쑥차. Then he asked about 녹차. He said 녹차는 있습니까? Here, 녹차 is in contrast with 유자차 and 쑥차 that he asked about earlier. Give you some more examples. Scott, repeat. 커피는 있습니까?
커피는 있습니까?
Very good. Christine, 커피는 있습니까?
커피는 있습니까?
Okay, now let's practice with 홍차, red tea. Scott, repeat. 홍차는 있습니까?
홍차는 있습니까?
Christine?
홍차는 있습니까?
Good. Now there is another contrast particle. This one is 은. It's the same as 는, but 는 is used when the noun that it follows ends in a vowel, and 은 is used when the noun ends in a consonant. Let's practice. This is a passport here, and I would ask, 여권은 있습니까? Scott, Christine?
Okay, 요관은 있습니까?
여권은 있습니까?
Right. 여권 is a noun ending in a consonant, so you use 은 instead of 는. Now let's take a look at some native speakers for some more pronunciation and listening practice.
커피,
커피는 있습니까?
홍차,
홍차는 있습니까?
여권,
여권은 있습니까?
Hope you practiced along at home. Now remember, Scott also used the expression 쑥차도 있습니까? Do here is another particle meaning also. We talked about this before. When first Scott asked about 유자차, citron tea, they said they had it. So Scott asked if they also had sagebrush tea, 쑥차. So he said, 쑥차도 있습니까? Repeat, Scott.
쑥차도 있습니까?
Christine?
쑥차도 있습니까?
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 Very good. Okay, now let's see when these particles are used. Here on my desk, I have a book and a passport. Now, Christine, ask me if I have a passport.
여권이 있습니까?
And my answer would be 네, 있습니다. Now, Scott, ask me if I have a photograph also.
Okay, also. So 사진도 있습니까?
Good, you asked me the correct question.
Okay.
And my answer is 아니요, 사진은 없습니다. This is because I have a book and a passport here, but I don't have a photograph. Now, when I answer the photograph, 사진 is in contrast with the book and the passport. So I said 사진은 없습니다. Repeat after me this time. 사진은 없습니다. Christine?
사진은 없습니다.
Scott?
사진은 없습니다.
Okay, now let's try the full answer this time. 아니요, 사진은 없습니다. Christine?
아니요, 사진은 없습니다.
Very good. Scott?
아니요, 사진은 없습니다.
Good. Keep in mind when to use these particles and take a look at focus in 1. We'll be right back.
여권이 있습니까?
네, 있습니다.
사진은 있습니까?
네, 사진도 있습니다.
도장도 있습니까?
아니요, 도장은 없습니다.
See, not carrying your dojang can get you in trouble because dojang is like your signature in Korea. In the West, people sign their names on official documents, but in Korea, people carry these little stamps called dojang. They're usually made of ivory, wood, or stone, and they have your names engraved on them. If you're thinking about a nice souvenir for yourself or someone you know, it might be a good idea. Anyway, let's move on. I prepared a picture here. It has all of Seoul's major attractions. We'll start with Scott. Scott, 한강이 있습니까?
네, 한강이 있습니다.
Yes, here you see the Han River. Now, Christine, 불국사도 있습니까?
아니요, 불국사는 없습니다.
That's right. 불국사 is a Buddhist temple from the Shilla dynasty, and it's in Gyeongju, the southern city of Gyeongju, right?
Right.
Okay, then, Scott. 남대문은 있습니까?
네, 있습니다.
Right? Here's 남대문. Scott gave me the short answer by simply saying 네, 있습니다. Right? Now, why don't you two practice together?
Okay, how about
Try this.
Okay, up at the top, right. 광화문이 있습니까?
네, 있습니다.
Okay, then Christine asked about this.
Okay. 남산이 있습니까?
네, 있습니다.
Thanks, guys. Well done. Now we're going to move on to focus in 2 for some more examples on when to use these expressions. We'll be right back.
그림이 있습니까?
네, 그림이 있습니다.
사진도 있습니까?
네, 사진도 있습니다.
잡지는 있습니까?
잡지는 없습니다.
Don't be discouraged even if you don't understand everything right now, because I promise things will get better if you keep practicing these expressions. Now it's time to go to Vivian for today's alphabet lesson. I was told that she's planning to teach us double consonants today. They could be kind of hard, so get yourself ready. Let's go to Vivian and see what today's lesson is all about.
Hello, I'm Vivian Kwan. Now we've been studying the consonants and vowels of Hangul. And by now, I think you should be pretty familiar with Hangul characters. But you have to remember that there are 5 more consonants than the ones we've been studying. And these 5 consonants are called double consonants. Just like its name, a double consonant is a pair of a basic consonant put together to form a new consonant. And the pronunciation is just simply stressing the pronunciation of a basic consonant that it's made of. All right, shall we take a look? Okay, now our first double consonant is 쌍기역. 쌍기역 plus a is ga. 쌍기역 plus o is go. Okay, our second double consonant is 쌍디귿. Now 쌍디귿 plus a is 더. 쌍디귿 plus o is 도. All right, our third double consonant is 쌍비읍. Okay, so 쌍비읍 plus a is 빠. 쌍비읍 plus o is 보. And 쌍비읍 plus 으 is 뿌. Okay, now our fourth double consonant is 쌍시옷. 쌍시옷 plus a is 싸. And 쌍시옷 plus e is 시. All right, now one more. Our last double consonant is 쌍지읒. 쌍지읒 plus e is 지. 쌍지읒 plus 우 is 주. There, those are the 5 double consonants for today. They're a little bit difficult to pronounce, aren't they? But the only way to help you is for you to keep practicing, and you have to practice them out loud too. Now remember that the sound of these double consonants are not equivalent to the sound of any English alphabet, which means you just have to learn them as if you're learning to talk as a baby. Okay? So keep practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Vivian. It's time to say goodbye now, but before we go, a quick recap, okay? Today we talked about particles, in particular contrast particles 은 and 는. When were they used, Scott?
Yeah, if you're going to contrast with and nun, you use if the noun ends with a consonant, and then you use 는 if it ends with a vowel.
That's right. So we had sentences like 녹차는 있습니다. 사진은 없습니다. Now we also talked about one other particle today, and that was Christine?
It was do, meaning also or to.
Very good. So we had a sentence like 여권도 있습니다, meaning I have a passport also. Let's not forget what we went over today, because particles are very important. You can change a meaning of an entire sentence by using different particles, okay? Keep practicing, and we'll be back to see you again next time. 안녕히 계세요.
안녕히 계세요.